How you doing, everybody? We're here with Esoteric Hours. Bradley Powers. I'm your co-host, Jim Andre, and we have special guest, Sherry Brett. How you doing, Sherry?
Yeah, thank you for joining us, Sherry Brett. Sherry, home show called, what's your show called, Sherry?
I have the Lost Magics, which is with the company Bold and Bonkers, and I also have my YouTube channels, which is PWI Spiritual Investigators and PWI Otherworldly Investigations as well. So I do a lot of my shows from there and things, guys, where you can catch me.
So what prompted you to get into this field?
What, into the paranormal and the strange and unknown? Well, my start off was being a child and just having abilities and being able to see things that others didn't, which is what got me into the paranormal.
Yeah, realizing that you were kind of different than everybody else. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'd always been different from a very young age. I wouldn't say I was a loner, but I didn't really like to mingle with too many people, and I would always see energies that other people couldn't see, and I always felt more at home with them and very connected to nature and stuff. I always loved to be in nature, and I just knew I was different. And then coming on later in life, I found out that my mum was quite spiritual when she was younger as well, so I've got it from somewhere. So
well, that was good because you had like a natural connection with it, right? From
yeah,
the beginning.
and I don't follow occults or covens or anything like that. It is all natural what I do. So yeah, and obviously life experiences and things I've gone through and things I've experienced as well, which is why I'm really into it. It's my love. If I didn't have my paranormal and my strange and unknown, I think I'd be lost.
Yeah, you had a rather easy transition into it because, you know, some people, they have a psychological problem and a hard time trying to understand what's happening, you know. But you adapted.
I don't know. Don't get me wrong. I did that first. Obviously, when I was younger,
yeah,
I did struggle with it, and I got quite scared of it because I didn't really understand why I was seeing things in my room that other people couldn't see. So I was very scared of it at first. But as I went on, certain people I loved passed away. They would show to me, and they learned me to not be scared of it.
Yeah, you adapted to it. Well, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the first step is coming to terms with it, you know.
Yeah, and I really did need to, because I would run, like at night, I would dread to go to the toilet. I'd run across the landing and I'd shut myself in the toilet, and even the toilet door would swing open because there was one spirit that always liked to make the door open. And I used to sit on the toilet screaming, and my mum would be like, what are you screaming at? And I wouldn't tell her because I was so scared. I was like, oh, I thought I see something, it's okay. And I'd run back in the bedroom. But it was only later in life, Mum goes, I knew what you was going through. I knew what you was experiencing. I was waiting for you to tell me. I said, yeah, but every time I did talk to you and say that I was having an experience, she'd say it was like imaginary.
Yeah.
And things like that. But
well, she probably figured at that time you were too young to understand anyway.
Yeah, and she'd had a very negative experience when she was in that way, which is what made her come away from it. And she did not want to put that onto me because there was certain scenarios that was meant to come onto me, which is why I've got certain energies around me now, like that protect me. So she didn't want to put that into me. If I was gonna become spiritual, it's gonna be through myself. She didn't want to be progressing that.
Right.
So, and that's what happened. So.
Yeah, I'm sharing too. It's on Alien Truth Connection, Jim's group.
That's good.
It should be also on my profile page, and it's also streaming.
It's not on your profile page, Jim.
I'm going to try to I'm going to just mute myself for 2 seconds and bring up the Facebook page, because I know that there was a few people that.
Okay. All right.
I don't need to. The page is already opened for some reason. It's already on the stream. That's random.
Yeah, Bradley, Daisy just inboxed me. She said her Wi-Fi is on the blink.
Oh, okay.
She says she hasn't been able to load anything since it started storming. I guess there's a storm where she's at. She says, I don't think
there is meant to be some bad storms out.
Well, that's why Daisy's not here. Her Wi-Fi's out, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on at the moment. Wi-Fi going up and down and things.
Well, according to Daisy, there's a storm that she's in right now. There's a storm in her area, so.
Yeah, well, you must have many paranormal, phenomenal experiences to share. When did you realise you was a spiritualist? Sorry?
I started having experiences from the age of 5, as well as channeling. I would sit in front of a mirror and see faces in my face that wasn't mine and things like that. So from a very young age, I started. But like I said to Jim, I was very scared of it at first. I didn't really know how to be about it. I couldn't understand why I was seeing energies around me. Nature and stuff like that, I'd always loved, always liked to be around that. Always seemed to feel really uplifted being in nature. Just it really irradiated with me, and I would see things in a completely different way to what other people would. So I think maybe like my first experience where I actually started to accept it was when I lost my aunt and my best friend, and they came through to me, and that's when I started to open to it and go, okay, you know, I won't be scared of it anymore. Because when spirits used to come to me and try and talk to me, now I wouldn't want to entertain them. I would get really scared. I'd put the quilt over my head and go away. Who are you? And I was just very scared of it. And then obviously as time went on, I would get experiences from my auntie and my best friend, and they were like, you don't need to be scared of them. They're like us. And you know, I started to open and started to communicate. My auntie would sit at the end of the bed when the other spirits would come in, so that I didn't feel so scared. And in time, it became an addiction. Like I said, I'd be lost without my abilities and who I am now. So it's been from a very young age.
Experienced it all your life?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. Have you ever been attacked by any spiritual entities?
I have been attacked by demonic. I have been attacked by several demonic spirits in a house that I'd gone and cleansed and blessed for a family. They were having some very negative experiences, and their 4-year-old child at the time was being affected by these negative energies and surrounding her quite a lot and really making her very scared. And they become concerned. My friend Vanessa become very concerned because she started to get attacked and was getting scratches and certain things happening to her. And I went up there to cleanse with a paranormal team that I trusted in, and we was able to get rid of the energy. But I was very badly attacked before going up there to try and warn me for not going up there. And then when I was up there, I was continued to be attacked. I had a massive collar of just flesh. It had ripped all my skin off. At first, it started with having a couple of upside down crosses that come up on my neck. It actually happened on a messenger chat. I was talking to a very close friend, and they were like, what the hell's that that's coming up on your neck, Sharon? And I was like, what you want about? And I noticed it, like these upside down crosses. I was like, and I'd been talking to my friend previously and trying to establish what was going on in her home through a video call, which is where this energy was able to come through. And I got attacked, and I had these marks on my neck that come up. That turned into, like I said, a collar of flesh. All my skin ripped off. after doing the investigation and getting rid of the energies, I actually ended up in hospital and nearly died from blood poisoning from doing it. So
But
I have been
but
very badly attacked.
you said that started prior to going there.
Yeah, obviously she lives quite far away from me, so I would do several video calls with her and talk to her where she would say what was going on. And I would, because I can see and feel things, I could see this energy and obviously become aware of me knowing about it and come to me, and I was attacked before going. I think it was a warning to try and make me not go up there, but me being the strong-headed person that I am, I went, because I don't fear anything like that, even though he'd attacked me and that. So you know, there was a family and a little girl at stake, and I needed to be there to sort that out.
How did you correct what was wrong afterwards when you were done? I mean, what?
Well, I've done the exorcism. I don't really want to talk about the spirits themselves, because if anyone that knows about the paranormal, if you mention the names and stuff, you can empower the energy and possibly bring it back. So, but I've done exorcisms and cleansings, and obviously being a witch and everything, we've done certain rituals to inbound the energy and to remove it. There was a stage when I was there where it actually took me over, because we'd made a star on the floor and I was coming out of the loft, which is where we was trying to get the energy from. And I landed in the star because I was trying to get out really quickly because it was on top of me. And as I'd gone into the star, obviously he went into me and he was able to come out in me. And I'd become very violent towards a lot of the people that were there at the time. And it was a very scary experience, but at the same time, you have to have that mind concept and stay in control. So there was a lot of cleansings and cleansings, rituals. We had to go around doing lots of prayers. We had to do a circle protection around the house as well, putting stones and certain things into the ground to bound it so that these energies could not cross that area again and return. We've done a lot of stuff up there. It took about 13 to 14 hours to actually cleanse the house. And I stayed there for a further 2 months. So I actually took my dog up there with me and I stayed with them for 2 months and continued doing the cleansings and making sure it didn't return. So I stayed with them for a while as well.
Wow.
So, yeah.
How was it affecting you during that time?
At the house, obviously because it had been removed, it wasn't so bad. The only thing, it was just the marking on my neck become worse. It was burning. That I knew that from where he'd been interacted with me, he'd done something from the insides, because all of this was burning and it was red raw. There was no skin. It was like,
so in other words, it basically,
you know what I mean? And I got worse when I went home because I was no longer in that protection circle anymore. Even though I'd cleansed that, he was already somewhere else. So I believe that he followed me back and I was attacked here. We did get rid of him again and remove him, but that couldn't happen until after I got better. I had a couple of months where I thought I was okay, and this was going to get better, but then it just become very bad. And I got to a point where I'd gone to the chemist to try and get some advice because it was so red.
Yeah, well, basically,
they've never seen anything like it. Obviously, I couldn't tell him I'd been attacked by a demonic. I'd have been put in a mental hospital, you know what I mean? But I said, I don't know why this has come up. I think you might need to go to hospital. And I was like, why? They go, because you've got this green pus and stuff like that.
So basically what happened was it caused an infection.
Yeah, it did, a very bad infection. It caused blood poisoning. That's what it did in the end. Like, I remember being in the chemist and nearly blacking out, but I didn't. And I managed to get home. And I remember a friend being here and going, I think we need to get the ambulance, because my eyes were rolling in the back of my head because I wasn't able to stay conscious properly because it took me over that much. Wow. And I remember going into hospital and having to have tests, loads of drips in me. They were trying to work out what it was. And they said, you've got a really bad infection. And I was very close to getting sepsis, very, very close to getting sepsis off the blood. So it was very lucky that I went in when I did. But I'd noticed over the last month of being at home that I noticed that my health was deteriorating, and stuff. But I just thought that maybe it was the effects and things like that. But
they must
when
have
I got home, I had to re-cleanse my house and do what I'd done at hers here to make sure that
they must have gave you some strong antibiotics.
Some very strong antibiotics, some very strong creams as well, and I had to do that for at least 3 months to get rid of it completely. It was awful. When I come home from hospital, I had to have my mum come and stay with me, and stuff at first because I couldn't even eat properly. It got that bad. I couldn't eat properly or anything. So my mum come and stayed with me and that. So
Benny C. Trent says that Sherry Brett is so gifted, and it's great to hear her tell her story of what made her what she is today. She's awesome, a healer, and strong in her realms. Does that make sense, Sherry?
It does, yeah. No, I am very strong, and I take what I do very seriously. And like a lot of people said to me, why did you not ever give it up after that? Like nearly dying in that. It didn't. It made me more intrigued. I wanted to understand why these energies acted the way they were, because how I look at it is all energies are equal, and there are reasons behind their reactions and the way that they act. So it made me more intrigued. I wanted to understand both sides of the realms, and that's why I have very much a very big respect for all energy. I do, because I know what they're capable of. You know what I mean? So, and it's only ever been that one time that I was really badly attacked, like for that period of months. I've not had any negative energy since then that have attacked me or done anything like that. And you know, all of these people that say that demonics, oh, don't entertain them, don't go near them, they're dangerous. There's this. I've never really had a very bad experience with them apart from that one time. If you don't upset them and you don't cross their boundaries, they'll leave you alone. You know, so as long as you've got respect and you show mutual respect, you've got no reason to fear them.
Yeah.
You are very welcome. You are very, very welcome. And
yeah, that is Benny C. Trent. Benny C. Trent says, thank you, Sherry Brett, for your help. Without you and another, I would not be here today. You are one of the only persons that has claimed what you said you was. Then you showed your gifts to enhance all you touch. God bless you, the wise men, and the strange one. Thank you.
I take it I'm the strange one then. I am. I admit that, but he is very true in what he said. Benny has recently been into hospital, and he had this health issue that if he hadn't have got it sorted, he would not be here now. Something had ruptured, but I'd previously, along with my boss Dakota, we had both picked up on the illness to do with Benny and told him where it was and that he needed to be sorted. We'd said it on different occasions. I'd said it to Benny first, and then my boss had said it in one of the shows we'd done with Benny on it. And we'd implied that to him. He took it on, but he didn't go to the doctor straight away, did you, Benny? You know, but then in time, it actually happened. What we said was going to happen happened, and he went to hospital. And obviously, I astro project, and through being with the spirits and the extraterrestrial, I actually used my frequencies and actually used my extraterrestrial self to be at the hospital with Benny to help Benny to calm down, because they were trying to do procedures on him and he was freaking out, and he heard my voice go over him, go, Benny, calm down. And I even explained to him the tones that were at the hospital, and he was like, oh my god, yeah, I was hearing them and things, you know, because he was explaining he could hear tones, and I said, done the sound. He went, how the hell do you know that was the tone? I was like, because I was there watching you. You know what I mean? And he was like, and you know, we are very legit at what we do, and we are very good, and we take it very seriously. And you're a very important person to us, Benny, and it was very important that you was told this information from us and from the extraterrestrial. So, Master of the Strange, yes, he is. Yeah.
Have you ever encountered angels, Sherry?
Pardon?
Have you ever encountered angels?
I talked to a few angels. I talked to Michael and Raphael, and I do have. Really? I have a very big interest in angels. I've actually got several books on angels and that, and I find them very interesting. Michael, I've had to call up on several times for protection and guidance, the same as Raphael. But to be honest, I don't try to use them unless I really need them, because I don't believe in using them just for no reason. So, but yes, I have come into contact with them through doing my rituals, my spells and things, calling on them to help me for certain things. Yeah. Michael and Raphael is my main one. My main ones.
Thank you for sharing that with us. I'll just do a quick shout out to Vic Makarov, Chris Joan Marie. Thank you for joining us. Jonathan Kip, Benny C. Trent. It's a pleasure to have you all near us.
Awesome,
and
guys.
Jonathan Kidd and Pablo Jimenez. Thank you all for supporting the show by joining us. And thank you for contributing in the group forum.
Yeah, I'm putting these comments up, but all I'm getting is Facebook user. I'm not getting any names on this end of it. I don't know.
Yeah,
why.
I get confused with that as well sometimes. I'm like, hello, Facebook user, can you put your name?
Yeah, I don't know where you're getting the names from, Bradley, because they're not showing up over here. Every comment is Facebook.
Yeah, I agree with that, guys. And I did have this conversation with Bradley in one of his chats yesterday that I very much believe that ETs are connected to angels, and I do believe that angels are an ET form, and I do believe that they, you know, they have that realm as well. They're just different types of ET.
Yeah. Extraterrestrials can shapeshift into anything they wish, such as angels, whereas angels, they can do the same, really, but they don't shapeshift into extraterrestrials. Well, I mean, why would they?
Well, no, because they're higher beings, they're spiritual beings. But I do very much believe that they are linked to extraterrestrial, definitely.
This is from Christian Marie. Christian Marie is saying, at my grandma's funeral, we stayed in their room, and my sister and I saw an angel on the ceiling the night before her funeral. Wow, how astonishing!
If you see that, sweetheart, then it was probably the angel there to collect the person and to take them back, you know, to the light, to the rightful place. A lot of people say that, don't they?
Yeah.
Even when people are passing and stuff, people will say that they see their loved ones coming, and certain spiritual light beings turn up in their room and they can see them around them and stuff. That very much so.
Yeah, definitely. That's to help them guide over.
Yeah, they guide them. Yeah.
Bradley, what platform?
Jonathan Kidd says yes, that higher realm connection.
What
and some of the ETs and stuff are a lot of the ETs are connected to the higher realms as well. So it's very much so. I believe that they're all in the same sort of category, even though they're different sorts of beings and stuff. They've all got a significant part, and I believe that they're all some sort of extraterrestrial being. You don't necessarily have to look green or blue, do you? You can look human. You've got such extraterrestrials as Lyran and Pleiadian that are human looking, Nordic. Or, you know, so yeah, very much so.
Yeah. And what about, have you encountered fairies or dragons or any of the fae, Sherry?
I have a dragon. I actually said to you about her yesterday. I have a red and black dragon that is known as Shadow, that likes red berries, and she loves beef. I do give them to her as gifts and treats when she helps me out. I do work with the fae. I do, but you can't just go into working with the fae. It takes a long commitment to them, and they have to accept you. You can't just go into their realm and start doing whatever. So they can be very mischievous, and they can be very dangerous if you don't know what you're doing with them and stuff. But yes, I do. As I've said, apart from like spiritual beings and ETs, with these sort of beings, I do not interact with them all the time, because I don't think there's something you should take advantage of. You only use them and have them there with you when you need to. But I will always put out treats and offerings and things to show my appreciation to them all the time. I'll go to nature and take my drums and stuff with me, and I play music so that they can hear it. I do all sorts of things. So I'm always showing my respect to them. I don't always use them though, only when I really need to.
Have you ever encountered any extraterrestrials, Sherry?
I am an abductee and I am a starseed. So yes, most definitely. Yeah,
you're an alien abductee. Wow, that must have. Was you traumatized, or did it enhance your life?
I have always been a really big believer of UFOs and aliens, and my uncle was a very big influence on that. Always used to speak to me about it. And with the abductee side, I was very skeptic about that. I really didn't believe that could happen until it did happen to me. My first experience was actually seeing an extraterrestrial being standing in the middle of a road on my auntie's road that's no longer here, bless her soul. But I see this very tall being, about 10 to 12 foot tall. He had very long hair, and you could tell that he wasn't human. that he was from somewhere else. He had what looked like a sort of a space, like an all-in-one spacesuit sort of thing. And it was purple, and I remember seeing this greenest aura around him. But at the time, I was only into the paranormal, the spirits, so I thought it was a ghost. That is what I actually thought it was at first. And through having my second encounter, which is where I was actually abducted, where I was in a car with my friend. We was coming back from my brother's and my friend's house. It was very late at night, and we were driving, and we come to a junction, and it was about 12 o'clock at night, and we're sitting at this car and we're seeing this object coming across the field, and we was just sitting there looking. It's like we couldn't move the car because we were so fixed to this object coming over the car. And we remember seeing this triangular shape moving underneath the object, and this most brightest white light come out, and it blinded us that we couldn't see anything. And we don't remember seeing any extraterrestrial at the time, but we remember seeing the craft before. And when we came back, we weren't in the same area. We'd been moved about half a mile down the road, and we'd lost 2 hours of time, and we couldn't work out what the hell had happened. He sat there like, what the hell happened? What was that? I said, you know what that was? What we see, you know what it was, that wasn't of this world and whatever. And he was like, and he's one of these people that is really freaks out over anything supernatural. So you could imagine what he was doing. He was freaking out. He didn't go out in his car for about 2 weeks. He was scared to go down that road because he thought it was going to happen to him again. But I'd been having experiences where I was seeing lights in the sky, and it seemed like these lights were constantly following me, but they would never properly interact apart from at my back door. There would be these white lights coming through my back door, and every night I would go to bed, but I'm in my front room, and I would go into this light, and when I come back, I'm in my bed. So I believe I was astro projecting and going into the front room, and they were taking me that way. And then it started to become more frequent, and obviously I had this experience with being abducted and stuff like that, and that's when it really started to end.
Yeah. What species were you abducted by?
I was abducted by my actual species, which was Pleiadian and Lyran. I had those species that actually took me. They were human looking, and they look very much like this energy that I see in the road.
Do you have any clear recollections of the abduction itself, or?
I just remember, like now I do. At the time, I didn't, because I didn't remember anything apart from seeing the object and going in, seeing the light, and it kept going back to that projection of that energy that was in that road. It's only through meeting Dakota and stuff, and actually opening myself more and having excuse me, I've sore throat as well. It's only through opening my connection with them and actually having direct communication with them that I come to learn that it was them that actually took me. I have a very weird round object in my arm, which is on one occasion, and I have one actually in my chest as well here, which are both, as I'm being told, they're frequencies, they're ways for them to be able to keep an eye on where I am. And it's also a way of me being able to communicate with them and keep in contact with them and stuff as well.
Someone is asking, why would good beings abduct you?
Why would good beings abduct you? Well, for me, I'm a starseed, so I am one of them. I've come to learn that I am a starseed, so I am part of them. I'm here to give messages and to reach out to others, to show people that we are more connected to the extraterrestrials than you actually think. And when they abduct you and stuff, they come to abduct. They're part of this world anyway. They're part of the universe. They're part of this world. They once walked upon this world, and they are, part of the creations of human beings. So why would they not take us? Like, there's a lot of things going on in this world at the minute that are being disruptive to us and being disrupted to the other worlds. And I believe that they're like taking us because they're trying to understand our techniques, our ways. They're trying to understand where we went wrong. They're trying to make a change, make a difference. They're obviously trying to save our humankind, and they're trying to save the planet as well. And that's why they take a lot of people for many different reasons. They take them for scientific experiences, They take them for being able to get certain data and information to be able to reside themselves more to this planet. And because they're, like I said, they are connected to us. We are extraterrestrial beings ourselves, and we are more connected to them than you think. And why would they not come and abduct you? That we are a species they formed, that we've become very intriguing to them, as well as very worrying. So they're trying to do certain things to make a difference and to make things right. And that's why they take. And obviously, like I said, because I'm a starseed and I'm directly communicating with them and I am part of them, I've just chose to come to this planet. That's why I'm taken. I'm gave data, I'm gave information, I'm given certain things that I need to give out to you as people to help you and to give you information and stuff like that. So that's why I'm taken. Did they, what does that say?
Did they predominantly leave Earth because of the negative beings here now?
I believe it's a mix. I believe that they left because of certain energies and things that were here and causing the problems that were disrupting us. And it come to a point in their life where there was only so much that they could step into. Other federations to do with them had to step in and tell them to remove from this planet. So they had to leave. But they have kept a watch over us. They have tried to interact with us in different ways. This is why you're getting a lot of sightings and stuff at the minute. They are trying to establish and trying to help with things. So yeah, negative beings were one of the reasons for them having to leave, but also because they were told they had to as well. And we didn't help. We kind of took them off of this planet ourselves. We kind of pushed them away because they were beings that were here educating us and learning us about technology and about certain things. And when we become very brained and we become very open to that, we kind of jilted them and they were no longer important, and we become the opposite to what they wanted us to be. So
well, they also realized that we're not good to ourselves. You know, how are we going to treat them?
That was another reason. Yeah. They couldn't watch that. They had to leave. But they are trying to help us. They are trying. They are doing little things, guys. You just have to take more notice of the sightings and things like that.
Jim, the orb flew by just now.
Jim gets a lot of orbs flying past him, believe.
I didn't see it, so I don't know.
But yeah, you know, they're here for many reasons, and for the simple fact that we are connected. We're all one. We're all family. We're all connected to the universe. The universe made all of us, even though we're all in different planets and that we're all very connected. And, you know, I have an extraterrestrial family up there, and I chose to go from there to come here to help humankind and to help this world. Because to help this world and help humankind, it will help them, because the disruption here is causing disruption up there. The same as if they have anything going on up there, it would right down here. So some of us chose to come here to help because you're family, you're people that we formed and we made. So, you know, we're trying to reach out to you guys. We're trying to wake you up is what we're trying to do.
Christian Marie says the family abducted you to show you the lights.
Yes, but to be honest, I've already seen the light, sis. I've already seen the light. I've been in the light, but I see the light through their vision, because obviously when I chose to come from their realm and come here, we're made to forget our life up there. Not fully, but we won't remember it when we come into our human form, okay? And it's over time and our spirituality that we start to reopen. And I do believe through the talks with my uncle and through the experiences, it reopened my memory of who I truly am and where I've come from. So yeah, they have in a way, yeah.
Yeah, saying it improved your light.
It did improve my life, but I am still very much learning about them as well. And at the minute, I'm going through what you would call an awakening with them. They're trying to show me my past life with them, even though I'm still very much alive up there and down here. They're showing me my life. They're showing me who I am. They're giving me information about my life. I've gone through a really traumatic time with them at the minute. I've been going through my father's planet. My father's planet was Lyra, because my father was Lyran, and that went through a very bad attack. And I've just started to be going through that process of when I was little, and I ended up being taken back by these negative energies that attacked his planet, and I was actually stuck there. And I see myself in chains. They were trying to do really nasty things to me. They weren't being very nice. I've come to find that the bloodline to my family is quite a noble one as well. So that's why I was taken, and I've learned a lot of things through them, but it's not all rainbows and stars and fairies or anything like that, guys. Some of it is really, really disturbing, really, really disturbing. So my father is Lyran and my mother is Pleiadian. What happened is, when my father's planet was destroyed and attacked, him and his people had to flee from their planet and go to other planets, and my father ended up on my mother's planet, which is how I was formed. So I am a mixed breed starseed. I'm a high breed starseed because I've got two opposite extraterrestrial parent.
I've got a question. I've got a question here addressed to Candy Fowler, asking, will you please answer my call after you're done watching, because the worry and stress is crazy to get info if you're okay. So answer, Queen. See, now I see Facebook user. Do you have a name on that, Bradley?
Yeah, that is from Benny C. Trent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm only getting Facebook user as well. I'm not seeing any names either.
I've got names here.
Another Facebook user is saying the Orion War.
Yes, the Orion Wars, yeah. Very much so, yeah. And it was it wasn't a nice experience at all.
Candy is asking, so we were taking. Candy's asking.
I was captive. Yes, yeah. I was captured. Yeah. Later on, not straight away. They had the battle, and some of the energies were going around my parents' planet, which is where I was taken, and my family and Muriel. I've got an extraterrestrial being here that's actually was my protector when I was up there, that had to go with my parents to actually save me and get me back. So he comes down and he's with me all the time. But yes, I was captive and my parents had to come and rescue me. I actually thought my mother had been killed, because there was a vision I see where there was my mother and a woman, and she's running with me. She's managed to get me out of this room that I was locked in, and they're running, and you're seeing the beings that were attacking them behind. And I remember seeing my mother fall to the floor, and I thought that she was dead. And I just remember her saying, before she closed her eyes, to the other female, please look after my daughter, Shaharlan, because that's what my name is, Shaharlan. So she goes, look after her. And I thought that my mother was dead, but she wasn't. Muriel actually rescued my mother, but she had to go through a very long recovery through being attacked and stuff like that. And they are back together now. But I did at first think my mother was actually dead, because it didn't show me all of the vision. There are wars going on still up there, yes, but not to the way that was. But there are things that are still carrying out up there. There are things they're still having to fight against, just as we are down here. Yeah, most definitely.
Sherry, I got a question for you. Have you ever heard or known of the alien name Ascosius?
Ascosius, I have heard of it, but I'm not very aware of
because
it.
I'm connected with that name somehow, but I don't know how, and that's why I figured I'd ask you.
Ascosius. Maybe that could actually be the extraterrestrial name of you.
Maybe. Well, I get two. I get Ascosius and I get the name Stanton as well.
Well, one of them could be your name, and one of them could be maybe somebody that is a watcher. Do you ever feel like you've got an energy around you? Because I do feel that you've got an extraterrestrial energy around you.
Yeah, I do.
That is around you. Yes. And I do believe that he's what you would class as a watcher, which is normally watchers go to those that are supposed to be starseeds. So you're here for a reason.
Right.
And which is why you've had your experiences. So I do believe that one of them, I'm not getting whose name is who, but I'm getting that one is your name from that place and one is his.
Right. Yeah, that's the two names that just stick out at me all the time is Scotius and Stanton. I don't quite understand what.
So maybe now just say I'm aware that maybe these names are connected to you and to me. Could you enlighten me and show me more about who I'm supposed to be? And they should be able to start opening up. It will be gradually, but be prepared that you may.
Yeah, well, see, I don't sweat.
Some really disturbing things. You know what I mean?
I don't sweat that part of it because I feel all will be revealed when the time is right.
Yeah, they'll do it in their own time. Like I always say to anyone that's like coming into communication with them, don't go looking for them. Let them come to you. Like you can speak to them, but let them gradually come to you. Don't push it. They'll do it at their own pace. There is a reason to why they do that with you, because you're going to go through a lot of traumatic experience with that, because it's a completely different life to down here. So they gradually open it on you and help you to come to terms with it. That's what they do. So, yep. And like I said, I'm still very much learning. I'm not one of these high proclaimed people that know everything about extraterrestrial or anything. I'm still very much learning. You know what I mean? But with them, that's my main factor at the moment, is learning about me and what I'm supposed to be doing here, which I've been doing all my life, apparently, according to them. I was meant to be a light worker. I was meant to reach out to others. I've been doing that. Now I'm taking the next step, which is awakening people.
One person's asking, what does it mean to be a watcher?
A watcher is a extraterrestrial ET that are known to be like a higher sort of energy that is connected to certain families of extraterrestrials, and they will normally look over such people as like the children and things like that. They obviously, when they're having to come to this earth, they look over such things as star seeds, indigo children, crystal children. That they kind of just like protect you, watch over you. They educate and learn you about your life.
And, yeah, they would be more or less like scouts, right? Like a scout.
Yeah, they're like like pretty much like scouts. They're like teachers. They're teaching you about who you are and also protecting you.
That was from Donnie Randall.
Highly evolved love is saying, I almost want to say I am a watcher also, but I am a recorder or a messenger that documents certain events.
Yeah, and the thing is that watchers don't have to just be in their extraterrestrial selves. You can have watchers in your being self as what you are in this world. You've been sent down here, even though you've become human, you're sent down here to be a watcher and do specific things to watch over others. And, a lot of that would be educating people and things. So very much so, but it's not as known as when the extraterrestrial watchers themselves come down, but some humans that have been extraterrestrial and are extraterrestrial are known to be human watchers here.
Right. Someone's saying Jim looks over us all. Who's saying that, Bradley? Do you have a name on that?
Yeah, Christian Marie.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Chris, for that.
Yeah, these guys are awesome. Respect. They are, yeah, definitely. These two men, these two gentlemen are really, really cool.
Highly evolved love says, I am always watching my environment, making sure I anyways make the best choices. I also feel like I'm an indigo child and a millennial.
Yeah, and like anybody that's like confused about what indigo and crystal children and that are, they are of a form of ET, but they've come here and they're very spiritual beings. They're very empathic. They've got certain abilities. You'll notice certain things about them look different. Like you'll see that their skin's very vibrant. They've got very bright eyes and things like that. Very beautiful beings and very spiritual and very, very high powered and absolutely amazing beings. And they obviously they're human form now, but they are connected to the ETs and stuff. I will do a show on indigo and children and stuff like that, starseed and stuff, so you can have a bit more of an understanding about them.
We have another question here. Can a watcher
Donnie Randall.
Can a watcher
ascend?
Yes, that it can. Yep.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. A watcher can ascend.
They can.
And there are many varieties of watchers.
They've got Pacific times down here, and when they believe that it's time for you to go back, you will go back. Normally, it does mean through death you will die, but as I say to this world, and I say it all the time, we never actually die. Even though the physical body here dies, The true self inside us does not die. So we don't die. It's just the body. We outgrow our body through knowledge and what we do, is what I believe. And when we reach that point and that pinnacle where we cannot gather any more information, this body becomes too small to stay in. So this body dies. I like to say it just it expires. It expires. And the true person carries on into the new realm, whether that is coming back here or going to your planet that you belong to. That's what I believe. Definitely.
Death is merely a transition to a new beginning.
And it's part of life. Don't be scared of it, guys. It's not the end. It's the beginning. Death is the beginning.
Yeah.
And I promise you, I'm not crackers. I do know what I'm talking about. I do. And I think some people do look at me sometimes and scratch their head like, what the hell? Like, really?
Everything you said, I agree with, actually.
Yeah. I am a very educational person. I am very knowledgeable, but I don't pretend to know everything. I don't. If you ask me something and I don't know what you're talking about, I'll tell you straight. I don't understand what that is. You know, they're only gradually opening me, so there's a lot I'd still have got to learn. So
I think everyone's biggest fear is dying alone. That's probably the biggest fear.
It's more how you die that scares you. Yes, there are some very horrible ways that people die and stuff, but what you've got to remember is in the new life, you know, and your new place, it's going to be so much better than what you've experienced here and what you've gone through. So you just remember that your life just begins. I know that people go through some extraordinary, horribly things when they pass away, and some of the things are not very nice, but just remember that you continue. We are a continuous energy that never dies, guys. Okay, these are just vessels so that we can be existed. How I try to explain it is you look at normal spirits in this world, and we're walking around. A lot of us cannot see them. Okay, now if we was in our ET selves or other being selves, a lot of us would not see each other. So we need to have a physical body so that we can have an existence and so that we can communicate with each other. Okay, and also it's a way of having a prominent way in this world and being able to structure what you need to be and who you're supposed to be. And when you reach that pinnacle, the body that you was given as, how do I put it? It was given as like a gift for you to be able to exist for so long. Okay. And it, you know, that will stop. Like I said, you'll go into another world, or you'll go into another realm, or they'll choose for you to come back here. Because I do believe that Earth itself is a place to come to learn lessons, to find your spiritual self, to understand your spiritual being, to understand and to love and to connect with what this world really is and the universe and all things. I do believe that this is a place. I don't believe this is a place of hell. I believe this is a place of lesson. This is a place to understand. This is a place to educate.
Yeah, this is a learning.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Life is a learning experience.
It is, yeah.
Now, someone's asking, if you go to a better place, why the Grim Reaper?
The Grim Reaper is a form and a structure of death. Like, a lot of people look at him as being a very negative being and something that's not very nice, but he's just typically something that is associated with death. He's not anything dangerous or evil. I think he just comes and collects you. It's no different to an angel or or a spirit coming. The Grim Reaper is very much associated with that. He very much. The Grim Reaper to me is another form of angel. He just looks completely different to some of the other ones, and I don't think you should fear any of them.
Yeah, and there are many Grim Reapers. There's more than one.
There isn't one. There's loads. Yeah.
Yeah. And once they collect the allocated number of souls, they can evolve onto a higher plane.
Yeah, they can. Yeah. And a lot of people, like when they like, you get a lot of talks about the heaven and the hell, and that the hell you're meant to get sacrificed and you're meant to get attacked. I don't believe that hell's like that. Okay, I believe that hell's a place where you go to learn for your sins and things, and that you have to do certain practices. Yeah, like here, you have to prove yourself here. You have to do that in hell if you've done something wrong. You have to prove yourself. Once you reach that place and that pinnacle that they're happy with what you do, that's when the higher energies of the light will come and collect you and take you to carry on. So heaven and hell really isn't the way that people progress it to be, that if you go to hell you're going to be for eternity. I'm not saying that all energies that go there come back, it really does depend on what you're doing. But I don't believe that hell is the way that people explain it to be.
Yeah, I believe it's just karma that comes back to bite you, you know, for what you've done.
Yeah,
here,
what decisions you make down here really does portray to where you're going, but you will learn for your sins in hell. You will learn for them. That's what I believe it is.
Yeah.
And your heaven and your hell is within you. Okay, your heaven and hell is what you see it as.
Okay? Yeah, well, technically, through a natural lifetime, we experience the very effects of a heaven and hell right here on
we
Earth.
do right here on this earth. That's what I'm saying, and we carry that with us, which is what
depending
carries
on
us
how we carry ourselves. You know.
Yeah, definitely. I hope this is making sense, guys. So don't think you're gonna, when you die, if you've done something bad, you're gonna be going to a place where fire's gonna burn you to death and do all of this stuff. You'll learn for your sins. That is what it is.
Facebook user says exactly, we never die. That's why so many near deaths. And you are at the door of the crossover to death. You and your craft is awesome. I see you, Sherry Brett. God bless.
And I see all of you too. And it's very true. You know, like near-death experiences is just giving you a taste of that world, and it's showing you the importance of life. I believe that's what a near-death experience is. It helps you to understand life more and to respect it more. So I believe a lot of people that go through near-death experiences needed a waking up. So when they go through these sort of experiences, it really does. A lot of people that have gone through near-death experiences come back and see the world in a completely different way.
Robert Humphreys is with us.
And I've had experiences that myself. I've been through a near-death experience, so very much so, definitely.
Yeah. Well, it's been we're coming to the end of the show soon. It's been a pleasure having you on here, Sherry.
Yeah, it's been really good to be up here. I like to cut your ears off, guys. You know that.
And what are you doing Christmas Day, Sherry?
Well, sadly, I spend every Christmas on my own, guys, which is really sad. But I'm not on my own because I have my spirits, my extraterrestrial, I have my dog, and I just do like ritual things, like to give my blessings and love to all of the spirit energies. I cook a Christmas dinner and I do that live so people can see it. Put music on, have a drink. Sherry just acts like an idiot at Christmas. There you go, guys. Tune in.
Well, we got a compliment there. It says good show. Somebody, thank you for that.
Thank you
very much. That's from Benny C. Trent.
I hope that
no, that's Vic Makarov. Sorry, Vic Makarov said that. Good show.
Thank you very much, and I very much appreciate that. I hope that it helped you to have a bit more of an opening and understanding of things. Because you hear a lot of horror stories and a lot of things that a lot of people tell you, and you think, oh my God, like I don't want to die now, and things like that. And it really isn't like this. Even with like when people commit suicide, I don't like, a lot of people say that they become trapped and they get lost and things happen to them. I don't believe that people that commit suicide suffer. I know that the higher divine powers know that they're going through a difficult stage. Yes, they do have to answer for what they've done, but they don't all become lost, guys. If they do, it's because they're confused themselves and they just need a bit of help. You know what I mean? So.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is out of the ordinary, and for it to happen to someone, of course, I mean, if they experience it themselves, it is going to be scary at first.
Oh, of course, yeah, definitely.
Until they're able to come to terms with it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Sometimes I just think that you need to be careful with certain people that you listen to, because some of them make it sound like it's a horror thing and it's really scary and stuff like that, you know.
Do you have a favourite extraterrestrial?
Do I have a favourite extraterrestrial? Obviously, my beings, Lyran and Pleiadian and Muriel. Yeah. Sorry, darling.
I'm a Taurus. I'm Taurus the bull. The bull is situated between the Orion's belt and the Pleiadian constellation.
Yeah, well,
you asked me if I've got a favourite ET. I think they would have kicked me up the arse if I said another one. You know what I mean? Like, it's both of my parents.
I'm Virgo the Virgin.
See, and I'm Capricorn, and I'm the Earth sign, and I actually have the Earth sign on my back in 3 moles. I'm actually marked with my birth sign. Oh, thank you. The wise man and the true angel. Thank you very much. Love
Thank
you
you
all
for
as
that,
well.
Betty. Yeah.
Love and light.
Yeah, Benny C. Trent. Thank you, Benny C. Trent, for saying that. The wise men and the true angel, Godspeed. Thank you, Benny C. Trent. And Christian Marie says, I feel this.
Oh, good. You're meant to feel it. My words, they're meant to be felt.
Right,
All right,
but
well,
I think that's it, I reckon. Do you reckon?
go ahead, brother.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us, Sherry Brett. And Sherry Brett, it will be broadcasted again on Christmas Day. And so will we. Esoteric Hours will be back on Christmas Day, which is Sunday. Everyone have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Lots of love and light.
Thanks, everybody,
Thank
for
you guys
joining
for having
us.
me on.